Good morning. What is going on, everybody? Friday morning, we're going to start this week with announcements. Announcement number one. This upcoming Tuesday, the 11th, we are going to be doing our next podcast. So we're going to be switching from Friday to Tuesday for a little while. We're going to try a new format out and see how that works. So definitely mark your calendars with the change coming up. You can always keep up to date with us at HTBbeauty.com to stay informed with everything that's going on. The other major announcement that we have to make, actually, I have to link that in the chat of the video today. The March 10 CE Hour class that we're going to be hosting in Downers Grove is already 60% sold out. So I know you guys are checking your calendars to see your availability and everything. If you're interested in March 10, register sooner than later, because at the pace that it's going to be sold out. The second date, May 19th, Monday, May 19th, also going to be in Downers Grove. Also check that out at htbbeauty.com. Like I said, I will put the link in our chat in a moment. And what else you got for us, John, this week?
I'm just going to reiterate everything you said. The two classes that we have coming up are going fast. I received a few instant messages yesterday about the class. Check it out on. You can go to HTB on Facebook. There's a cool little commercial about it, and it'll give you all the deets on what we're going to be going over. Eddie and I are super excited about this. We've been working Eddie's been working his little fingers to the bone on this. I'm just along for the ride. How's your week going?
With you?
How's your week going, my friend?
Working my fingers to the bone. Working hard for the money. Trying to come up with multiple. You don't understand how much time and effort I put in every week with trying to come up with what kind of curveball I can throw at you during the live to just derail this whole thing.
I know, because it is you tried like heck last week.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The answer was D to everything last week. I know. So I've got some stuff for you today. We're going to talk about the Carotherapy fiber sprays later on.
Okay.
That's
been a lot of discussion this week, in this past 2 weeks about that, actually.
Yeah. We're going to also talk about, we got some motivation, going to motivate the heck out of you. We've got a lot going on. I'm sorry, excuse me for 1 second. My computer's decided it doesn't want to be my friend anymore. There we go. And then
your computer needs better friends.
It does. But really, one of the big things we're going to talk about is today, after we do the quiz, and I've got a great quiz for you. Okay. We're gonna talk about exposing our clients to new services, which I think is very important.
Okay,
I think it's really important on building your reputation with your client. But we'll get into that shortly. Are you ready for your quiz, young man?
What you got?
And this is right in your wheelhouse. This is Eddie. This is an Eddie quiz.
Oh boy.
Okay. What are the three primary colors, Eddie? Red, yellow, blue, orange, green, and red, or violet, blue, and green?
Orange, green, and what? Orange, green. Did you say orange, green, and red?
Yeah. What are the primary colors?
Man, you should have just thrown violet in there. What kind of curveball is that?
Well,
red, yellow, and blue.
Right. Now, I got
Or is it RGB? Is it red, green, and blue? Or is it red, yellow, and blue?
So it is A, red, yellow, and blue. But I still remember one of my fondest memories is one of the one of the first color classes that we taught together. And I remember you looking at the crowd and very seriously going, so let's just all agree that the primary colors are red, yellow, and green. And like half the room goes, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you see the ones in the back going, wait a minute. And then, you're stone-faced with it. And then all of a sudden you just started laughing and you go, no. So, but it's amazing when all it takes is one person to nod their head and at least three others go,
Well, it's also amazing that if you say something with such conviction that people will just naturally believe it, even if they know it to be false, they'll start questioning what they know. Right. Because you're saying it with such authority and conviction,
right?
That they're like, wait, what? So right. It's actually is fascinating. The whole thing. I mean, the next time we have a color review segment, we should really do a deep dive on RGB versus RYB. Because nature versus science? No,
science.
Nature versus science, right?
Science.
We see in RGB, but we exist in RYB, red, yellow, blue versus red, green, blue.
Right.
Ooh, that we should write an article. I got to make myself, hold on, take over for a second. I got to make a note. It's a good topic. I want to make an article about it.
And what led me to this quiz besides that is that I fielded a couple of phone calls this week, and it amazes me that how much we forget of our basics as we move forward in our career and all the things that we deal with. And really that the color wheel, for those of us that do a lot of color, the color wheel rules everything we do. Whether you like it or not, the laws of color are the laws of color. And that's what led me to this quiz. And especially, and then I thought back to that with you standing in front of 300 people going, yeah. And they all nodded their head. Yeah. Half of them nodded their head. The other half are like, wait a minute, clown. No. So, all right.
I will always throw a curveball in a class to try to get people to start asking questions. That is the whole purpose of class is to
100%.
Learn and gain knowledge.
Okay. So with that being one of the primaries, so then what is a complementary color? Here's your choices.
A very nice one.
Yeah. Colors on opposite side of the color wheel. Colors that make the primary colors look better. Or colors that go with your client's eyes.
Look into my eyes. You are so beautiful.
You are so beautiful.
Across the complementary color is the color that's across from each other on the color.
Right. And once again, we forget complementary colors are the colors that are opposite colors on the color wheel, which you want to use to neutralize the other color, correct? And those colors are
yellow and violet, green and red,
orange,
and the blue and orange.
Violet, green, and orange are your complementary colors.
Oh, I thought you were asking what are the combos like?
No. Let's not put the cart before the horse. So your complementary colors are violet, green, and orange. Okay.
Yes.
So then, with that being asked, what are tertiary colors? Colors combined to make colors better. Equal part primary and secondary colors. Or C, colors that are not really visible.
Colors that are not really visible?
What is a tertiary color?
Is there even such a thing as a color that's not even visible?
No, it's not.
What even is that?
Right. All right. Wait, back up. What is actually color? It's a reflection of light, correct?
Okay.
Color is a reflection of light.
Okay.
Isaac Newton, if you go back, he's the one that came up with color is a
Isaac
reflection of light.
Newton.
Yes, sir. Here's your history. Here's your little bit of history without, okay? So
we have Mr. Wizard. We have Bill Nye the Science Guy. We've got
the guy that discovered gravity also found colors when he looked through a prism.
How do we make a segment, John and Science? Like we need to give you a name. We need to give you
a lab coat. Do I get a lab coat and everything?
A lab coat. Yes. Okay. Let's do it.
So what are tertiary colors?
Tertiary colors are the combination of a primary color with a secondary color.
Okay, and your tertiary colors are
red, violet,
yellow, orange, red, orange, red, violet, blue, violet, blue, green, and yellow, green.
Yeah,
those are your tertiary colors. Because once again, going back to the whole thing that got me into this is the color wheel. And I know it's so basic and everybody's going, oh, color wheel. But you would be amazed at how many of our fellow stylists have that, not that they don't know it, they've just forgotten it. And you ask them, well, what cancels out that color? And everybody's answer is blue. And it's like, no. What cancels out orange?
Mia.
Blue. So we really have, for those of us that and all of us, we all play with hair color. The laws of color are the laws of color.
Okay.
Also, with the laws of color, because the color wheel rules our world, comes existing colors at existing levels of lightness, right? Where color lives. Am I wrong?
Right.
I'm just gonna keep saying right. But where color lives, because then we have to cancel out and or augment those colors to where we've lightened the hair, right?
Right.
What's the number one selling color in a color line, Eddie?
The one that sells the most.
Okay, but for most color lines on average, what is the one level that and one type of color that sells the most?
6N.
6N it is, right?
Right.
But if you take someone
make a drinking game out of you saying right.
Left. The answer is D. But here's the deal. 6N by itself in any color line applied to someone who say is 30% gray. What's your outcome with 20 volume?
6N.
Is it?
I hope.
Well, aren't you going to get a whole bunch of warmth from that exposed melanin on the hair that's not pigmentally challenged?
I hope not.
You hope? So that so then what would you add to a formula that needed 6N?
Mia.
You would add Mia.
Green, blue?
Right. You would add a cool tone depending on what their underlying pigment is, right?
Right.
Yes or no? If you're looking for just a pretty brown color, and you know they're gonna expose a lot of warmth, wouldn't you add some cool tones to it to counteract that warmth? Or no?
Yes.
Okay. So you proved my point. Thank you, sir. Thanks for playing. And you knew every single one today. You did.
Today's color class was brought to you by John, the science guy. When does the quiz start? When does the beauty quiz start?
Are you?
I thought we were having a color class. Okay, gotcha.
Well, so what? We haven't done color in a long time on the quiz.
Okay.
Okay. So you know what? I love being challenged by you. So here's my question to you, Mr. Man. Mr. Man.
Yes, sir.
So not only being the hair extension guru that you are, okay, being the next best thing to Bernard Ori, what is your wheelhouse as far as hair goes?
I don't understand your question.
Hair color, right?
Right.
You are the colorist of the stars, are you not?
Okay, where are you going with this? You know, I don't like bragging about stuff. What are you even doing right now?
I'm bragging on you. That's all. I'm just giving you a hard time. So anyway, like I said, the whole thing that brought me to this quiz was just the fact that the color wheel is a very important tool that we have to use. End of story. Done. Moving on. Next.
I see that.
Next. Next on the agenda for today is, and we're going to talk about clients for a minute. Okay.
Okay.
So you have Susan that comes in for her touch up your single process touch ups. How often do they come to see you? How often do you tell them to come see you?
It depends on the client. I got 3 weekers, 4 weekers, 5, 6 weekers. I mean, everybody's a little bit different with how their hair grows. But yeah, let's say let's just use the beauty average, 4 to 6 weeks.
4 to 6 weeks. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you have a client that's coming to you every 4 to 6 weeks. Okay. You give her single process. Sometimes every 12 weeks they get a haircut, right? Or you cut them every time?
Yeah, 8 weeks, 12 weeks. Yeah. Okay.
So single process haircut, single process haircut, single process haircut, single process haircut. How do you introduce new services to your clients? Be it anything from, hey, maybe we should throw a couple highlights in this. And I know you taught me this years ago they have their summer color and then their winter color or their seasonal color. But how do you go about introducing or at least planting the seed for a different service? Hey, you know what? You would be a great candidate for keratin treatments. Hey, you would be a great candidate for, I can't even come off the top of my head, but we should really start doing microfusion treatments on you, the ulnar, conditioning treatment. How do you move them forward into really, for lack of a better term, cementing them into your chair?
Okay, now I understand your question. Yeah, I got you. Well, you have to. I do it personally. I do it in 2 different ways: as Johnny Appleseed and as a drug dealer. So, as Johnny Appleseed, you've seen me do this. I'm just being straight.
Mm-hmm.
I will, like you, using your words that you just mentioned, I plant seeds. I plant the thought. I start talking to them about it. And because I started doing this a long time ago in my career, in the beginning of my career, where I refuse to repeat the same formula more than 3 times. Twice, generally speaking, I'll create a formula for the client. I'll redo that formula a second, on their first revisit. But then I'll start telling them by the next time I see them, we're going to start adjusting the formula. We're not repeating this again. Whether it's a small adjustment, whether it's a major adjustment, is somewhere in between. It's whatever mood I'm in. So I take that back. It's not whatever mood I'm in. It's whatever the hair needs during that time, because at that point, generally speaking, the season is starting to change.
Mm-hmm.
That's really the right answer. In the beginning, it was whatever mood I was in, because I just don't like repetition too much personally. But then I've discovered it just coincidentally worked itself out. If they absolutely fight me on it, then I'll do it a 3rd time. But then I'll tell them, that's it. And then I'll say, next time, because we're going to start doing it this, we're going to start doing that. I'll start mentally preparing them for the change that's coming, and I'll make it very playful. I'll make a joke out of it. I'll very lighthearted about it. The next time they come in, though, I stand my ground. We are changing, and we're doing that. Okay. So that's the Johnny Appleseed approach that I take, is planting that thought, planting that seed for the future. Whether it's a color formula, whether it's a service, whether it's a blow dry, whether like the haircut. Oh, you know what? You're right on the edge right now. I'll hold up their split ends and I'll show it to them. Like, you're right on the edge right now. I could cut it today, or I could cut it next time. What do you want to do? You want to enjoy this length one last time, or should we just cut it right now? And then, depending on the client's mood, yeah, you know what, just cut it, or no, I like this length. I want to keep it long. I'm trying to grow it out, blah, blah, blah. It's a nice way of getting an answer from them without them feeling like they're having to make a decision right there on the spot, right?
Right.
And then I'll mark myself, okay, I need extra time next time to cut their hair. Like, not a problem. But it locks them in. It brings it to their attention. It keeps it in top of mind. The drug dealer approach is simply that. Give them the first one for free, or for a heavy discount, or, a taste of something, and yeah, what's throwing 2 foils in somebody's hair on top of a single process just to show them what you're talking about, conceptually speaking, how you can enhance their bangs or their face framing, or break up, the part a little bit or something. When I teach hair extension classes, I always talk about having extra hair left over after a while. Once you get good at doing hair extensions, you just naturally are going to end up with a little bit of an abundance of hair. And if you're successful getting an extra pack just to keep it on hand here and there, it pays itself off tenfold. And that's something we talk about in class. So I always have extra hair extensions laying around. Throw 1 or 2 in. What's it take? A couple of minutes, not even.
Right.
But it gives somebody the opportunity to try before you buy type thing, like a test drive. When it's the treatments, there are so many different varying degrees of conditioning treatments, keratin treatments, smoothing treatments, shine treatment, whatever. There's so many different varying degrees of treatments. Give them one of the lower ones, blow dry it into their hair real quick, give them an express or something, just throw it in there. Call it customer appreciation, write it off as a business expense if you have to, whatever you need to do. Or if you're a commission stylist, if you happen to have a gap in your book, don't go running off and go shopping. Don't go hide and get on TikTok and X Factor, Twitter, whatever the hell it's called now. Use your time efficiently. Spend a couple of extra minutes with that client. Make them feel special. Mm-hmm. Throw half a service or the beginnings of a service that potentially could benefit them. That's the other thing, though. You got to be honest about it. You can't just throw a service in there for the sake of throwing a service because it's got a high return for you. It's got to be something that will help the client's hair, therefore make the client's life easier at home, therefore, will be of benefit. It's equivalent exchange. You got to give somebody something equal or greater value to what you're trading them.
Right. It's something, and it's also something
service. Yeah, it's beneficial to them for their life and for their hair quality of life and their lifestyle. And you become compensated for it down the road. It always pays itself forward 10 times over.
It's how you build your business. I do almost the same thing. I'll plant the seed, and I do the same thing you do with the haircut. It's like, we could do it now, or, are you happy with the way it's laying, blah, 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 blah. I let them make the decision. But then what I do is when I pre-book them, because I try to pre-book everybody, at the end of their current service. And I'll be like, hey, we talked about doing, the Care Therapy Color Lock and Smooth. I have addicts. And I started that way by doing a complimentary on a bunch of them. And then they told all their friends about it. And Color Lock and Smooth has become very, very profitable for me. And it's something that they need. It's amazing. And it's the same thing. You gotta more or less ask. or
Here you go.
give them the idea. And
I'll give you a rundown list. I'll give you a rundown list. You're doing a haircut? Tell them you're changing their layers. Even if you're not, tell them you're changing your layers. Okay? That'll open up the whole, you'll be surprised how quickly that starts a whole discussion topic. You're doing their hair color? Throw a foil in there. Okay? You're not doing any foils. The person will never have any foils. No worries. Instead of pulling it through the ends, just do a couple of freehand, just paint through a couple of freehand pieces. Don't fully pull it through. Okay? Let it give some kind of variation. It'll almost look like highlighted without being highlighted. If the person doesn't like that dimension, just run it all the way through, then not a big deal. It's an easy fix, quick, and you're running behind schedule, give them a deep conditioner service, throw them under the dryer, buy yourself some time. But explain to them that it's a deep conditioner service and why that's going to be beneficial to them.
Yep.
Okay. You got, you're doing a blow dry. Instead of using retail product, do an express blowout. Easy. It's the equivalent. Well, it's a little bit more labor intensive than just using product and doing a blow dry, standard blow dry style, but they'll be back for that. Let me tell you. Okay. You're doing, they've spoken about hair extension or add-on hair or volume. They've been complaining about thinness and fullness and stuff like that. Pop in a couple of strands, a segment of a weft, a tape. I don't care. A clip in, whatever you got. Talk to them about it. All right. You truly believe that a product would benefit them, but you do not like selling product. Go get a travel size of said product and just tell them Merry Christmas, Happy Birthday, whatever you want to tell them. Just give it to them. Invest the $5-10 for the travel size. Invest into yourself for your own career, your own business, and your own future. There's a couple of examples.
That's you've hit all the bullet points that I had on that. It is. I'm not going to come up with the right words for this. I had a conversation with another stylist who's extremely successful, and they said it's not the volume of bodies coming in and out of my chair. It's the quality of the service that I'm giving the client, and clients that get multiple services from me that pay my bills.
It's so true, because you're really, in the grand scheme of everything, if you have a client, here's the average. Here's the thing. To become $100,000, a 6-figure income stylist, you need, on average, 160 total clients in your book coming in once every 6 weeks. Making, with a service charge of a minimum of $48.50 or more. Okay? At that frequency, you're a 6-figure income stylist. And you've got a full 40-hour-a-week book. Okay? I'm saying 40-hour a week. I'm not saying 5 days a week. I'm not saying 9 to 5. I don't care how you put in your 40 hours.
Right.
You could put in you could put in a 24-hour day, and then the next day put in a 16-hour day, for all I care. I don't care what the hell you do. But it's that simple. So this all goes to the quality of what you're producing, not the quantity. Everybody's like, oh, I need 200 clients. I need 300. I need 1,000 clients. No, you don't. You really don't. The only reason why you have that many clients is because you are not producing $48, a minimum of $48.50 an hour.
Right.
And you are not putting in 40 hours a week. Or you're not producing $48.50 an hour per 40-hour week.
Right.
52 times a year, 52 weeks a year. That's the problem. That's why you're not a six-figure income. That's why you need more clients. That's why, you're struggling. That's why. So,
Yep.
And we have class about that too. And we have a whole program dedicated to becoming a six-figure income stylist. So and if that's something you're interested in, reach out to us. Let us know. We'll get you signed up for the program too. We'll help you.
Yeah.
It takes about 6 months. It's a commitment. It's not a joke. Building up to that level is nothing comes quick. Nothing comes easy. Okay. It's no different than, how's that called at the New Year? Oh, resolution, New Year's resolution. I'm going to lose weight. In January and February, workout fitness centers see the greatest increase in membership. By mid-February, March,
done.
There is all that membership, not like maybe 5% of them are actually showing up anymore.
Absolutely.
It's goofy. You want a body, you want a beach bod, it's gonna take time. You have to invest into yourself. You have to invest into your business. You have to invest into your income. Same thing with the income. You have to invest into your income to build that income. My brother-in-law, Dominic, Dom told me some insane statistic. Like 90% of the people that employees where he works are not invested or have never reevaluated their retirement funds or invested in some kind of retirement funds. That's your own financial future you're talking about. That's your life you're talking about. I mean, all of this comes into play. It's all the same thing.
Right.
So yeah, I get clients is a hot button topic for me. And so is, the future of our business. That really is a hot button.
I got a couple of things just to close this out. Number one, I want to, let's hear about ideas from you guys about what you do to not build tickets, but to get your clients fully invested in you. Let's get some. I'd love to hear some ideas. We'll post them up, and I think it'll be really cool. I mean, we can always learn something from everybody.
Oh, I'm all for it. Great idea.
Now, number two, you brought up retail. And it's going to be a two-parter. Real quick story about retail. There is a young lady who has a space near me, and she only does men's style. Okay. She only does men. And it is a conga line of guys coming in and out of her space all day long. And she was asking me about the hours class and stuff like that because she heard about it. And I was looking around, and I was kind of looking, first time I've ever looked really into her space. And I go, "You don't retail?" And she goes, "Why would I want to retail?" And I went, "What?" And she goes, "Yeah, I'm not a salesperson." I went, and I went into the whole thing with her. And now she's carrying a men's line because I talked her into it. She's carrying a men's line, and she's actually been paying her rent with her retail sales. And I told her, and the one thing that I did tell her is I said immediately, they're going to, you mentioned a retail product. They're going to go right to this thing, and they're going to go right on Amazon. And I said, just match the Amazon price. And they could take it with them right then and there. And she looked at me, she goes, "That's genius." And I said, "I've learned the hard way, And so with that being said, there is a retail product that I fell in love with. I wasn't sure about it when Darren kind of pushed me that way. And that is the Carotherapy fiber sprays. Mm. Wow. First off, if you have a client that is lacking volume, you can build volume with those sprays.
You can. Oh yeah.
And of course, none of us have clients that stretch out, stretch out their single process from time to time. And it also has a little bit of color to it so they can camouflage their roots. True?
It does.
Yes.
Yeah, it's got color pigment. It comes in a variety of colors.
Yeah. And I can't tell you how excited I am. I mean, I was looking at it going, I've seen fiber. It's been around since the dawn of time, fibers. Remember the little shaker bottles that people used to use? But this stuff is like, for lack of a better term, is like that stuff on steroids. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong.
So walk everybody watching through the fiber sprays, please.
Well, you got to understand like this. Sparse, thin, fine, anytime you're missing hair in an area of your head, generally speaking, the most common thing that people do is they try to comb over whatever hair they have left, and they try to shellac it, down as much as possible to try to make sure it sticks in place in those spots that are in those areas of the scalp that are showing more than they want it to be showing it. The other option is to take whatever hair you have left and try to tease it and bulk it up and make it stand up to make it look bigger to overcompensate for the lack of hair in that area. Okay. So those are the two general things that people do. The fiber sprays from Keratherapy, for example, they are pigmented. It's a pigmented aerosol hairspray with a very soft hold. It's not going to be a very soft hold, workable hold.
Not sticky. It's not sticky.
It's not sticky. Okay. And in that aerosol spray, there's ground up fibers, hair fibers in there. And the idea behind it is you're going to be adding pigment, plus you're going to be adding those hair fibers to help cover up and fill in the gaps of wherever you have the sparseness.
Right.
That's really the most important part of all of this. Okay. Right. And that's the beauty of what this is. Doing it in a delivery system through an aerosol makes it easier because everybody's good at spraying. When you have those shaker bottles or when you have those powders, when you have those brushes and those wands, they work. I'm not against them. I'm not saying anything negative against them. No. But it does take a level of dexterity to be able to apply those nicely. Okay. I'll simply say it like that. And if you don't rub it in afterwards the right way and things like that, it could get a little messy. The worst thing you want to do is be, walking, minding your business. The wind blows the wrong way, or you turn your head too fast, and half of that, you got all the particles on your clothes. And then somebody walks up to you and they're like, "You got something on your shirt. What is that?" And you're like, "Oh, it's makeup."
Yeah.
So doing it in an aerosol form, just the delivery system is a little more easier. It dries completely, and then it sticks and it stays. Also, being in an aerosol form, nothing is going to help you against a heavy downpour. But if you've got some light rain, a mist to light rain, nothing like heavy steady, you don't have to worry about. Like if you're running to your car, you're not going to be looking
like you're melting. Yeah.
So you're not going to have an embarrassing moment like that. So and that's the nice thing about it. They've come up with a couple of different colors of it too. You got light brown, dark brown, medium brown. You've got a gray. And what am I missing? Oh, that's the fibers. Because we're talking about the fibers.
Right.
I was thinking of Keratherapy also has, like, some people, they don't have an issue with thinning or patchiness or scalp showing. Okay. They don't have a problem with hair loss. They just have outgrowth that they want to cover up. They have a corresponding product called Perfect Match.
Yep.
It's the same thing. It's pigmented sprays like the fibers without the fibers. And that has a blonde, a red, a light brown, medium brown, and dark brown/black. So those are 5 different versions, whereas the fibers, you only have the 4 different versions. So you also have options, since we're talking about cover up sprays and stuff like
Right.
that.
Right.
They have. So if you just need touch up spray, or do you need touch up spray and some spot coverage?
Yeah. That is actually, I was playing around. I have a very adventurous client, and she's actually a redhead.
Okay.
But she does have some sparseness. So what I did is I took the gray, I sprayed the gray first to create the volume, and then I went over it with the red.
Okay, cool.
And it was. I mean, once again, nothing is going to match. So nothing temporary like that is going to match your custom formula, but it gave her some ground cover, and we blended it. I actually took a tint brush and we kind of blended it a little bit.
Yeah.
And it was good. I mean, was it fantastic? No, but she got the volume she wanted. She got her roots on
point.
Yeah. So you can play with these things, and it's amazing. It's amazing, and it is slowly climbing up my retail chart of what I'm moving a lot of. So
a couple of housekeeping tips I will say personally. Wash it out at the end of the night. This is a temporary spray. This is not a long-term spray. Wash it out at the end of the night. Otherwise, if you have night sweats, or if you overheat, or if you toss and turn, I hope you have a really dark pillowcase.
Or sleep on a towel.
Or sleep on a towel, right? Wrap your hair up,
And do your colorist a favor, and don't
wash it out before you come for your appointment.
There you go.
Take a shower before you come for your appointments, for the love of God. You know? It's I knew I was coming to see you, so I didn't bother washing my hair for the past month. I'm like, wait, what?
But see, the other side of that, and I'm just talking about people that don't. I pre-shampoo all my people anyway, because I don't want anything. I want a nice clean palette to work with.
Okay.
And an extra 2 minutes to give someone a shampoo is not a big deal.
There is a difference between washing somebody that already has semi-clean hair. There is a difference. How you say in Italian? Skis? Okay. You know what am I saying?
Yes, I know what you're saying.
Okay. 8 days, 9 days, 14 days old hair. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Okay.
You just gave me PTSD because anybody.
Exactly. Now we got, hey, good morning. Who's saying good morning?
Tracy.
Okay. What's up,
Hi,
Tracy? Tracy, you're just in time for the motivation. We got a good motivation for you.
You took me back to beauty school when they used to bring the bus from the old people's home in.
Oh, okay.
And, you'd lead these lovely old ladies back in the bowl, and the water would just be beating up on their hair because it was, they've used half a can of Aquanet over the past week. And it took like 3 shampoos. Remember the first shampoo wouldn't even lather up. And you'd rinse it off, and then you do the second, and then by the third you were getting an actual lather because you were just taking everything off.
I would wear a color apron when I would go to do a shampoo because the water wouldn't bead for me. It would bounce off and spray everywhere but their hair. And I would be soaked.
Oh, my car should be so polished.
Those are the days, man. Hey, look, man, you generation that don't have to do roller sets, weekly roller sets, you're missing out. Boy, you're missing out. I can't wait for that styles to start coming back one day.
Or pin curling a skip wave. Let's go.
Oh man, the finger waves were I'm partial to finger waves. I didn't enjoy doing them, but damn it if I didn't love looking at them afterwards,
I love the way finger waves looked. I have sausage fingers, okay? It was a feat in itself, but those were back in the day. And with the old blue gel that would dry crusty hard.
You'd have to scoop it out of the jar.
Yeah.
Just be a big old vat sitting on the station, man. It was like a freaking jar.
Well, it would come in like the 2-pound tub.
That's what I'm saying. It was like this big ass. Yeah.
Right next to the cholesterol conditioner. Oh, those are the days. So,
memories.
Are you and Tracy ready for our motivation?
Always ready.
All right. And the answer is not D.
Always is.
Push harder than yesterday if you want a different tomorrow. Push harder than yesterday if you want a different tomorrow. What does that say to you there, Big Shoots?
Push harder than yesterday if you want a different tomorrow. You know, that's yeah, okay. You I mean, nothing's gonna change until you change it.
Yeah,
you can't just keep saying. There's a difference between talking and there's a difference between doing. You know, and that's always the thing. If it's always the same old, same crap, different day mentality, then you're always going to be trapped in your own prison, in your own mind.
Yeah.
You know, think about this. How many of us right now, either listening to this, you know, or sharing this with a friend, how many of us are held hostage by ourselves in our own mind? Think about that, man.
I like that.
You know, and we're stuck in yesteryear, you know, in yesterdays. I love Married with Children, but it's the Al Bundy syndrome. You know, he was married. He had, 2 kids, house in the suburbs, dead end job. He was miserable. And his whole thing was, I scored 4 touchdowns in a high school football game, 30 years ago. Like just us reminiscing about cholesterol and freaking a tub of hair gel.
Right.
If that is the highlight, could you imagine if that was the highlight of our career and we never changed, we never grew, we never moved forward, we never got tired of doing that or wanted more than doing that? Fast forward 30 years later in our careers, not only would we not be sitting here talking about this, we'd still be behind the chair doing sets. There's nothing wrong with that if you are content with doing that. Okay?
Right.
You know Brian. You know my buddy Brian. You know our buddy Brian.
Yeah.
I was just talking to him on the phone. Actually, here's a perfect example. I was talking to him yesterday. We were talking about, all right, no names. Let's just say a common acquaintance that all 3 of us are closely related to. Okay? And he was saying that it kills him that the person that we were talking about has so much potential to be so much more in life, yet chooses to do a job that is beneath their ability. And I was arguing that it's not his place to be pissed off on the person's behalf. They're content. I agree with Brian. I think the person we were talking about has a grander ability to do more in life for themselves, but they're content. Now, you and I both know somebody else who also has ability to do something better in life, yet chooses to just cry over spilt milk every day. I want, I wish. Shut STFU, right?
Yes.
And do. Not say I want and I wish. Use the words, eliminate those words and say, I am going to, I plan to, this is how I'm going to, and start doing. You're good at talking about crap all day long, good about complaining about crap all day long.
But get it done.
You know, you never get anything done. You never want to do anything. Well, what do you want to do about it? Well, then tomorrow comes. Well, then the next day comes, you know, and it's always the next day, the next day, the next day, same crap. Then you're stuck in yesterday.
Make that sound again. I agree 100% with you. As you and I have walked this mile of because neither one of us know how to stop, for lack of a better term. It's keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. This statement speaks to me of, okay, what I did today was good, but for me, good isn't good enough. So tomorrow, I gotta push harder. I gotta be better than I was today. Be it in my personal life, be it behind the chair, be it in my business life, even and I'm going to use us as an example. Like I told you, I went back to the YouTube channel and I looked at some of the first ones we did over a year ago. Some of the first lives that we did. And I even went back to a couple of that we did on the Profitable Stylist way back in the day. And where we are now compared to where we were then. And we're going to keep getting better. And we've gotten progressively better. It's the same way that this speaks to me is with your clients, with the people in your life, with your kids, with your spouse or your chosen person, is you can always be better. You can't rest on your laurels. It's for me personally, it's one client at a time. Each client presents its own challenges, and I want to personally do better than I did by them when I saw them 6 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago. I have that client of yours that you referred to me, and the formula, she doesn't want to change the formula. Don't change the formula. So what I did is I changed the application of the formula. And that's what I've been doing is I've actually been just brushing through so she gets this play of color. And she griped about it until all of a sudden yesterday she looks at me, she goes, I really like this. And I went, you see what I'm saying? And it's the same thing. You've got to push harder, guys. Everybody out there, we've all got room for improvement. No one is perfect other than my wife. My wife is perfect. But other than that, you got to keep moving forward and you got to keep pushing. And what you did yesterday isn't going to cut the mustard today. And so that way, if I'm better today, tomorrow's going to be that much better, right?
So we're cutting mustard.
We're cutting mustard.
Better than cutting cheese.
No.
So then you can help me in real time.
You don't want to cut the cheese. You don't want to cut the cheese unless you hit the Taco Bell drive-thru last night.
Help me in real time be better tomorrow than I was yesterday.
Yeah.
So we will workshop right now in real time for everybody watching.
Okay.
Because you are better at pop culture and modern society than I am.
Okay. So what are you looking for?
What is the salt and pepper vibe we got going on right now? Is that we're spicy seasoning, or are we pushing it real good?
That's all very old pop culture, young man.
Uh-huh.
At least you're not Jaden Smith walking around with a house on your head on the carpet of the Grammys, okay?
I'm just replying to the comment we got. I don't know what it means, but I always love interacting with the comments because they're hilarious to me, especially when I don't get them and they're over my head.
I see what she's saying. I see. I didn't see the comment. It was blocked by another screen.
It's okay. I'm just
Um,
chasing waterfalls over here, so I don't really know what I'm on about, So I'm just asking for a friend. I'm asking for a friend, for science.
for a friend. You don't have any friends, first off. And as far as
Short man.
and as far the salt and pepper vibe. Oh my god. Yeah, Eddie's gonna be the one that wears the eye black under one eye. Well, we're glad that we can help at least someone today.
This is how it is. This is how it is all day long. Okay. Once again, to recap, don't just remember how good it was.
Yep.
Think about how good it was and think about how much better it can be. So go out there and be better, do better. Okay. HTBbeauty.com, March 10. We are 60% full. Make sure you register. May 19th is the second date we've got. So if March 10 doesn't work for you, if you need your hours and you're a hairstylist in Illinois with an active license and you need your hours, definitely sign up. It's a 7-hour continuing education hour event that we're going to be holding in Downers Grove, Illinois. So once again, look at the comment section, htbbeauty.com, register, and we will see you in March 10th. Otherwise, thank you guys for watching this week. Tuesday, 9 a.m.
Tuesday morning. Come join us. Bye,
Anything
guys.
else you got?
No, I got nothing. We're out.
The SFTB podcast was not recorded in front of a live studio audience, so thanks for joining us for today's episode. If our hair topics made you smile, give us a thumbs up. Drop your thoughts in the comments. We'll read them while waiting for our caller to process. Share this video with your stylists and friends. It helps us make a difference, one strand at a time. And don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you never miss an episode. Because your hair deserves all the latest and greatest tips.